Hi, welcome to the Masters edition of the preview show. First and foremost, congratulations to us for actually making it this far. Seems like forever that the PGA Championship was taking place in August. So we managed to get through the winter and some, well actually in fairness, some fabulous events over the first couple of months of this year to finally get to the Masters, and I think we're really in store for an unbelievable weekend of golf, and I'm really just hoping that all the excitement, all the storylines around this weekend's tournaments do it some justice, because certainly the hype is, it's out of control, but in a really good way. So, as many people are saying, golf is back. So I'm recording this, the par 3 competition has just kicked off, so I'll be go down and watching some of that a bit later. I wanted to kind of leave it to the last minute for a couple of different reasons. One, I keep flip-flopping on my picks, is the main one. I keep changing my mind. I think in the end I'm going to end up having a flutter on multiple people, but I've been so engrossed with, I think, all the fabulous storylines from obviously Tiger's return and his great form, and then you've got the golden oldie lefties and Bubba and Phil playing great this season. Both of them have won, obviously Bubba a couple of times already. You've got Jordan Spieth, had a bit of form last weekend at the Houston Open, which of course Ian Poulter won. You've got other guys who perennially play well at the Masters in, Rory, in fairness, although he's never won. He's won this year. Jason Day's won this year. Paul Casey's won this year. Justin Rose has won already. And then you've got other guys like Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Thomas, obviously probably the best player in the world at this stage. And I've not even mentioned the world number 1 DJ or the world number 3 in John Rahm. So the field is phenomenal. And I think the form is great for most of the guys that are playing. I think we're just in for a really fabulous few days of golf. I think Augusta always kind of brings it out of the both the golfing nerd, which I consider myself to be, but also just the general public who maybe tunes into golf a couple of times a year. I think they're really going to be taken with this tournament. So first things first, disclaimer. Now I know Tiger has eagled in his practice days the 2nd, the 13th and the 15th, and by all accounts playing fabulous golf. Disclaimer, he's not winning it for me this year. I don't think anyway. I really want him to have a great week. I really want him to contend. I just don't know whether I've seen enough, but not quite enough to win a major. I don't think, but then I could be proven completely wrong, and I'll be happily proven wrong. For my winner this week, and I have flip-flopped a number of times, I'm going with Justin Rose. I'm going with Justin because his driving is great, his irons are fabulous, he's one of the best iron players in the world. His putting is okay, and I think kind of a little disclaimer about Augusta, it's not all about putting, because if you put yourself in the right position in the greens aren't that bad. If you put yourself out of position on the greens, then you're screwed. I don't care how good a putter you are. I just think he's played so well for such a long time now. And obviously he was very close last year. I still can't believe he didn't win it last year when Sergio did. I just think he's had a couple of seconds. He's due a win here. I'm really backing him. The other one I was flip-flopping with, and I was kind of going a little bit with my heart, is with Phil Mickelson. So the other one I was really very close to picking, but I'm going to go with Rose in the end. I think it's going to be really tight. It sounds like the weather on Saturday is a bit rubbish by all accounts, maybe a bit of rain, but it's not going to be like crazy rain, which will then bring in basically all the big dogs. I will caveat, if there's a lot of rain, expect something like a Rory or DJ, somebody who can just hit it that bit further to really kind of be at the top of the leaderboard. But that being said, Justin Rose isn't too far behind him anyway. So before I ramble on anymore, Justin Rose is my winner this week. Looking forward to watching that. In terms of each-way bets, I think the obvious each-way bet, and one that seems to be a banker, is Paul Casey. He's like low 20s, 22, 23 to 1, something like that. He's come 6th, 4th and 6th in his last 3 Masters. He's always done pretty well before that anyway. Bearing in mind most bookies are paying up to like 7 or 8 places. I mean, he's just money in the bank as far as I'm concerned. So Paul Casey each way is definitely worth a bet. In terms of longer odds, there are a couple of interesting guys that's certainly worth looking at. That's like who else? Matt Kuchar is around 50s. 50 to 1. Again, he's done well here historically. He's had a number of top 10 positions. I think he's made the cut. I think if I'm right in remembering, he has the longest run of made cuts with Adam Scott in the Masters, something like 12. So, proven pedigree, obviously knows the course pretty well. Great short game. He's not longest hitter. I don't necessarily expect him to win, but each way bet, it's not bad at 50 to 1. And the other guy to look out for is the big game hunter, Mark Leishman. Just turns up at all the major events, all the big events. He's won Bay Hill beforehand. He should have won the Open a couple of years ago. Should have won the Masters maybe when Adam Scott won it. So he's got pedigree at the course. He loves a big tournament. I fancy him. He's a decent bet, and at 60 to 1, it's pretty high odds for somebody with a bit of pedigree. And in terms of other things, other outsiders to look out for, there's a couple of Americans to look out for here. And they're about 100 to 1, depending on which website you're looking at. But Charlie Hoffman and Kevin Chappell. So Charlie Hoffman obviously was leading the event last year through a couple of rounds and actually stuck around to the bitter round. I forget where he finished entirely, but he finished relatively high up. And Chappell too, he finished in the top at 8 last year. And I think a key stat that's really important for people that do well in the Masters, and in fact, if I remember rightly, the last 8 Masters champions have all finished in the top 10, or have all been in the top 10 strokes gained tee to green on the PGA Tour stats. So if you kind of want to look for where to put some cash, then that's somewhere worth looking at. I think most of it's dominated by the top guys, but actually Kevin Chappell's in the top 10 there as well. So maybe it's an each way bet. He's not worth a bad punt, particularly as he's paying out top 7-8 places, and he finished 8, I want to say, last year, 7th or 8th last year. So again, 100 to 1 is worth a punt. So there you have it. There are kind of my people to look out for this week. As I've said, I really think it can be a crapshoot. I genuinely could have picked about 10 people to win this event, genuinely, from Rory, DJ, JT, Rahm, Tiger, Phil, Bubba, Jason Day, amongst others. And then you've got all the young guns who are all coming up. And I'm not even mentioning guys like Tommy Fleetwood, who I really rate, and I actually expect him to have a good week too. Noren as well. So what a weekend we're in for. I'll be really interested to hear what you think below. Let me know your thoughts and comments. I'll be on Twitter all weekend. You can get in touch with me at Ben Swanton Sport if you want to reach out to me on Twitter over the weekend. But yeah, look, have a great weekend. Indulge yourself. And let's hope it's a tournament that lives up to all the hype. Cheers for now. Thanks. Bye.